What's going on, YouTube world? Guys, excuse me, my voice a little scratchy from all the partying I was doing on my vacation. But I still got a voice, so I'ma still do this YouTube video. That's what I meant to say. With the Smackdown review. Now, they started off Smackdown with Damage Control. And Damage Control, this was like a really short promo too. It wasn't even a long one. They basically just came out and said and demanded that Bianca Belair and them, it was bad enough that they drug them all the way to Providence for the ugly Providence for this, but they demanded that Bianca come out and reveal who their last member was, and Bianca did just that. She came out with Asuka, Michin or Mia Yim, Alexa Bliss, and she's basically said, like I said, she said it's 4 of y'all, it's 5 of y'all, and only 4 of us. But like I said, we wouldn't be coming to SmackDown alone. And she basically, for dramatic purposes, Becky Lynch music hit. Now I wasn't surprised because it only could be 3 acceptable people. Who could have been? It could have been Becky Lynch, Candice LeRae, or Sasha Banks or Naomi. The thing was that Sasha Banks would have got a real big pop. Like, that was a big... The crowd would have went crazy. Not saying the crowd didn't go crazy. But that would have been like the shock value of it. Becky Lynch made sense because rumors swirling up until this point was saying that she was making a quick return. And when this whole Damage Control thing started, she was a part of it, at SummerSlam. So it made sense. I was still surprised that she returned, only been out of action for 4 months. And she did mention later on that her shoulder was banged up still, but that she was gearing ready to go. But it made sense. Becky Lynch got in the ring, and a brawl started with Becky Lynch and Bianca Belair's team standing tall. Opposite momentum, meaning that at Survivor Series, it looked like it's going to be Damage Control who takes the win at War Games. But anything can happen, right? So then the first match of the night was the semifinals between Butch and Santos Escobar. And this was okay. No, you know what? I would say I'm gonna give it a good because it really was. Them two made magic in the ring. So this was a good way to start off SmackDown when it came to a match. Anyway, this was a good first match, and Butch and Santos Escobar really did mesh well together. It worked on paper and in the ring. But thanks to some interference, not just from Santos' group, but from the Bloodline, who was brawling in the backstage with Kevin Owens and Drew McIntyre and such. I think that Butch told Sheamus and Ridge to go help while he dealt with Santos, and that's, like I said, Santos' group got involved, and Santos Escobar will win to advance to the finals to face the winner between Braun Strowman and Ricochet later on tonight. Then we got a promo from Bray Wyatt. Basically came out, talking about how he got a grip on what people think about him, how people want to see the monster, the Fiend, but that he's not that type of person anymore. He don't want to be that type of person, and that he came out to say that he wasn't the one who attacked LA Knight last week. And then we got another cryptic message from Uncle Howdy telling the crowd that Bray Wyatt is a liar and that he would take people down with him with his lies, and that he need to wake up and open his eyes and basically face his truth that he's not what he seems to be. And then we got a promo for LA Knight saying that how he described basically what happened to him, how he was leaving, and then all of a sudden next thing you know, he was getting picked up underneath the trash, and that he if it wasn't for his bum arm, I think his arm was like in a sling, so I guess it was broke, and his bum leg, he would go out there, he would have went out there and gave Bray Wyatt, who you call a liar, what's what, and seemed like Bray Wyatt's actual feud other than with himself or Bo Dallas, because everybody said Uncle Holly is basically Bo Dallas. So it looked like his actual feud would be with LA Knight, at least. All right, we got the second match of the night, which is Hit Row versus the Viking Raiders, along with Sarah Logan, who's now calling herself Valhalla. This was a good match for the Viking Raiders, a little bit of a jobbing session for Hit Row, which it kind of hurts because I wanted to see both succeed. I hope this is not the start of a jobber session for Hit Row, though. It's kind of like they jockeying for position to, I guess, face the Bloodline. And that's one of my problems with the Bloodline holding all the titles, is that you got tag teams and superstars not really have a direction, because it seems like nobody wants to challenge Roman Reigns for the title except for these random people who step up. But the match itself was good. It was a good showing for the Viking Raiders and a little bit of a showing for Hit Row, but Viking Raiders mostly dominate and won the match with the Ragnarok. Then we got Ricochet versus Braun Strowman. I can't remember. It was a backstage promo with Kevin Owens and it was Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. I almost called Sami Uso. But yeah, it was he basically just warned Sami Zayn that he can't trust the Bloodline, that the Bloodline's gonna turn on him, and if Roman treats his own blood like that, what he's gonna do to you? Because he said, we all know that there are situations that you get yourself in, Sami, that I have to come bail you out of. So what are you gonna do when you get into one of those situations and piss off Roman Reigns, but that you didn't mean to, but you still do it anyway? You do it by accident. What are you gonna do? He said, if it was me, I'll turn on them first. I wouldn't wait for them to turn on me. All the while, unaware, Jay is listening in on the conversation. Jay tried to call out Sami Zayn for where he was when the brawl happened earlier, and that it says he knew Sami was going to lie. He asked Sami, was he talking to anybody before he got there? He said, and Sami lied straight to his face and said that he wasn't talking with nobody. He just got here. He tried to say the only person he's talked to since he's been here is Jay Uso. Lying that he didn't talk. Not telling the truth that he talked to Kevin Owens. So now we get to the Ricochet versus Braun Strowman match, and it was basically a David versus Goliath match. Ricochet really did do it. It held this thing. The match actually went longer than I thought it was. Braun Strowman ended up getting some good offenses, and surprisingly Ricochet, and surprisingly, due to some interference or whatnot, and it was mainly interference from Gunther and Imperium. Ricochet got the roll-up victory here over Braun Strowman to advance to the finals, which is now going to be Santos Escobar and Ricochet next week. I think the winner gets the cup and a shot at Gunther. They proceeded to jump Braun Strowman with Ricochet coming back to help. They basically started jumping both of them, and then Braun Strowman cleared the ring. And speaking of jumping, we got the next match will be Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler versus Sasha Blackheart and Raquel Rodriguez. Now, before that match started, it was a backstage interview with Rodriguez and Sasha Blackheart, but it would be interrupted by Ronda Rousey and Shayna, who beat up both Sasha Blackheart and Raquel, and they proceeded to break, I guess, Raquel's arm, and then went out to the ring for the match, did a promo saying they was the ones here, and that Sanshi and them should be booed because they couldn't make it to the match, and that accidents happen even sometimes when they on purpose. As they was getting ready to leave, though, Sanshi Blackheart came out, and they basically had what seemed like for the moment a 2-on-1 handicap match with the announcers Michael Cole and them saying that Raquel was taken to the hospital. The match itself was a typical 2-on-1 handicap match with Sanshi having some good offense, holding her own, but eventually succumbing to double team and beating up. And just when it looked like victory was certainly at hand by Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler, out comes Raquel, who did not go to the hospital, but she came out with basically one arm. And it was a typical handicap match. So in all, now that I got that out of the way, it still was Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler versus Sanshi Blackheart and Raquel Rodriguez, just basically, I guess elongated where, well, I guess elongated is the wrong word. I guess spread out where it looked like it was going to be a handicap match, but it ended up being the actual tag team match. And they would take advantage of Raquel's injury that they caused, and thus they was the winners. I think they forced Sanshi to watch Ronda put Raquel in her submission hold, and thus I think she had to tap. Yeah, she tapped. Then it was revealed in the backstage segment that Raquel's arm was broken, and now she got a dislocated elbow. But that Sanshi vowed that she would destroy Ronda Rousey and win at Survivor Series War Games. We got the main event, which is Drew McIntyre and Sheamus versus the Usos. Winner gets the advantage, just like how it was Rhea versus Asuka, and Rhea won, so her team gets the advantage. Now it's time for the men. And this was a great way to end the show. This was a great, I wouldn't say great, but this was a good main event. Good main event tag team match with Drew and Sami. They worked well as a tag team. And they played well off the Bloodline. The Bloodline played well for them with the moves and spots. Obviously, distractions and fights would happen outside the ring with Kevin Owens and the Brutes. And the Bloodline does resulted in all-out brawl outside. They say Drew took a dive from the ring onto the guys, and then the final minutes of the match came to where when the referee was distracted dealing with Sheamus, Sami Zayn would try to get one of the towels to hand it to Jay so Jay could hit Sheamus with it, but he would get stopped by Kevin Owens. They would get into an argument, a shoving match. Then Kevin threw Sami into the ring. The referee thought Sami was basically trying to cheat, so he kicked Sami out. While the referee was dealing with that, Kevin Owens would get in the ring and stun Jey Uso, and Sheamus would bro kick him. 1, 2, 3. And Sheamus and Drew are the winners who will get the advantage from the men's side. Which means, opposite momentum, the Bloodline wins at War Games. Though, as I always say, things could change. This was a good episode. This was a good go home for Smackdown. This was a little bit better than Monday Night Raw. I think I gave Monday Night Raw 6. So I'm gonna give SmackDown a 7 out of 10 because it was a 1 point better than Raw. Though not a lot happened, but enough happened to make you, if it did, get hyped for Survivor Series War Games. I'm glad to see Becky Lynch back. I actually will say that did get me hyped, a little bit more hype for the females because Becky Lynch is back. Not so much for the males. The males is pretty much at the same level of hype. I mean, I'm not saying I'm not hyped to see. I'm just saying it didn't make me more hype. Other than that, it was just a typical episode of Friday Night SmackDown. So you let me know in the comments down below what you thought. And if you enjoyed this review, you hit this button right there in the upper right corner for all my WWE reviews. And if you enjoy this video so much you want to support the channel, you know what to do, guys. Hit those buttons. And as always, hit any one of the videos for more of my amazing content. But don't go anywhere. Survivor Series War Game review coming up next. Peace.